Hi, this is Melanie with Blue Moon Rising Co. I have a metaphysical shop on Etsy where I sell conjure oils and other witchcraft supplies. So feel free to check me out. I'm going to put a link down in the description below. And without further ado, we are going to talk about circle casting today. So this is a requested video on how to cast circles. If you already know how to cast circles and you're happy with your method, feel free to skip this video. This is just for my girls and guys out there who are new to witchcraft or don't know anything about casting circles and are curious about it. I know I talk a lot about casting circles and doing that in a lot of my other videos, and I've just never done a video on how to cast a circle, what is a circle, so stay tuned if you're interested in that. So, I apologize, I'm going to be reading from my notes. Why do you want to cast a circle? So, a circle is a sacred place for you to perform a ritual. It is a place of power and positive energy. So if you think about other religions, like they might have a church or a temple, and that's a designated sacred space. Witches can have any place be a sacred space for them to perform any kind of ritual, and you can do it anywhere, and you don't have to have like a designated area that is always, sacred and, off limits for other things. You can pretty much cast a circle anywhere. So that is why we want to cast circles. Now, what are you doing when you're casting a circle? You're invoking the 4 elements. Some people will invoke ancestors, spirits, deities, demons, angels. Everybody does it differently, but for now we're just going to be focusing on the 4 elements and how they can actually increase the power of your spell if you invoke them and let them into your sacred circle. So, now, do you always need to cast a circle? No, I do not always cast a circle. So I personally only cast circles for extremely important rituals and spells. But in the beginning of my journey, I would cast them every time, and I do recommend that you do that when you're starting out, so that you know how to get into that space, how to get into that energy of being in a circle, and then you'll be able to bring that on without actually casting a circle later. However, when I'm doing big rituals, I will cast a circle. So, for example, when I cast a spell to bring my soulmate to me, this was a spell that took weeks of preparation. It took me half a day to do the ritual. It was a huge ritual, and that, yes, I absolutely cast a circle. And just if I'm gonna, let's say I'm curing a headache, or I'm just doing something like I want more energy or something. No, I'm not gonna cast a circle for a small candle spell because I already am able to tap into that energy without doing so. However, if you're new to witchcraft, yes, I recommend doing it for every spell right off the bat until you feel a little bit more comfortable with doing spells without a circle. So, step number 1 for casting a circle. You are going to determine the size of how big you need your circle to be. The circle needs to be big enough that you can fit yourself and everything that you need for your ritual within it. Okay? And preferably you're not going to be leaving the circle at all while it is cast. While you're doing the ritual, you're going to be staying in that circle. So make sure that it's big enough. Now 2, determine your place. Where you're going to cast the circle. Is it going to be around your altar? Is it going to be in the bathroom? I tell a lot of my girls to do bath rituals, so sometimes I'll cast the spell. It'll make sure the ritual or the circle will be around the bathtub, and the entire bathroom pretty much is the circle. So I can perform the ritual outside the bath, and I can enter the bath, and I'm still within the circle. So that's completely up to you, where you want it to be, and it depends on the ritual, and yeah. So, step number 3, you are going to purify yourself, purify the space that the circle will be in. purify your utensils. So whether you're using sage, whether you're physically saying with your voice, negativity needs to leave right now from the space. Sweeping with brooms, a lot of witches will sweep the floor because spirits live in the floorboards. So yeah, sweeping. Just a little side note, if you sweep your house every single day, you're going to feel so much happier, more free, because you're doing a magical act just in sweeping the floor. So yes, sweeping is magical. That's why they associate witches with brooms, because we're sweeping out negativity. And I just got sidetracked, so let's keep going. Okay, so step number 4, physical markers. So some witches prefer physical markers. I used to do it. I don't usually do it anymore. So candles, you can use candles, you can use crystals, you can use certain things that represent the 4 elements. So basically, when you're casting a circle, you're going to need to know which direction is north, east, south, and west. And if you want to use a physical marker, you can use something that represents the north, place it in the north, the east, place it in the east. For example, so the north, earth is represented, or the north is represented by earth. And if you wanted to, you could put a green candle in the north of your circle. Or you could use aventurine, which is a crystal. You don't have to. You can just use a white candle. You can, something that represents earth, you can just literally find a rock, put it there. Really, it's completely up to you. You don't even need to do a physical marker if you don't need to, or if you don't want to. And then in the east, that's represented by air. You could use a yellow candle or a citrine crystal. You could also use a feather. The south is represented by fire. You could use a red candle, fire, agate, I don't know how to say that. You could use a flame to represent fire. In the west, that is represented by water. You could use a blue candle, sorry, I'm not good at pronouncing crystal names. Turpentine crystal, and or you can just use a bowl of water. Completely up to you for representing the north, east, south, and west. So you don't need to do this. But when you are calling upon those elements, you just need to feel their energy. So we'll get to that later. If you are starting out or you're doing a really big ritual that's super important, then yeah, maybe you do want to get the specific candle colors or find something that is represented by those elements. Or yeah, so it's up to you. You can think about that, and when you're designing your own ritual, it's completely up to you. Now, what I usually do is I draw the circle with a wand, or if I don't have my wand, I'll just use a sage or even my finger. Some people can use an athame. Some people sprinkle salt in a circle. Truly, completely up to you. I usually just use my wand and I just physically draw the circle on the ground. And if I'm doing it around the bathtub, I'll just touch it to the wall around the bathtub. Okay, completely up to you. Now, step number 5, invoking the elements. So, always start in the east, and when you are opening the circle, you're going to go clockwise. When you're closing the circle, you're going to go counterclockwise, okay? So, you're going to start in the east, and you're going to hold your wand or your finger if you want, or your sage stick, completely up to you, and you can say whatever you want. You can write like a little poem for that element. Totally up to you. What I usually just say is, element of air, I call on you, and then you need to really feel that energy of air. Just feel the light, airy breeze of that element and feel it entering your circle, okay? And then you're going to turn to the south, and then you will say, element of fire, I call on you. Turn to the west, element of water, I call on you. Turn to the north. Element of earth, I call on you. And each time you're doing this, you're feeling the element as it enters your circle. And then you say, the circle is now open. Now, very easy. You can now perform your ritual. And once you say the circle is now open, you will most likely feel a very powerful energy, a very sacred and just extremely powerful energy in your circle. And okay, so let's say that you forgot something super important outside of the circle. Some people are fine with it. Other people say you shouldn't do it. I've done it. It seems to be fine. Cutting a door. So cutting a door in your circle is a way that you can leave the circle temporarily and then come back into the circle. So usually with a knife, you'll say out loud, I'm now cutting a door with this knife, and you'll cut open a door, literally, in the circle, and then you'll leave. And then when you enter back in, you'll say, I'm now cutting another door, and I'm coming back in. So that, you know, I don't know why people do it, but it seems to work. So, when you're done with your ritual, do not forget to close the circle. This is extremely, extremely important. You're going to go counterclockwise, and you're going to say, I thank the element of air for lending me your energy tonight. Going counterclockwise, you're going to thank all the elements, and then you're going to say, the circle is now closed. All right, very important. Don't forget to close it. Just don't forget to close it, okay? So that's pretty much all I have right now for these notes. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to check out my Etsy shop and like and subscribe. All right, thank you.